Hey, what's up, everybody? And this is my first ever movie review. I felt like I wanted to make this because I had just come out of seeing Sonic 3. So this is the first time that I'm actually doing a movie review. It was a really, really good movie. Probably the best movie I've seen this year, along with Deadpool 3, but it was a really, really, really good movie. So, for this first section, it's gonna be completely spoiler free, and then the next half of this video is going to be spoilers. So, when we get to that section, if you want to click off because I recommend you go see this movie. Now, onto the movie itself. Without spoilers, it's a really good movie. It's fun. It has really good action. Sometimes the comedy will hit, every now and then. Of course, Sonic is, there with all his, quips and whatnot. The visuals are amazing and just super well done. I really do love all the different sceneries and stuff that they managed to do in this movie. It's made really well, and you can tell it's made by people who really and truly care about the franchise and the products that they are putting out there. And nowadays it's really hard to find movies that are good, movies that don't have a bunch of woke stuff in it and everything. And happy to say that the Sonic franchise is woke free. It's amazing, it's fun, and it's just an all-around really good movie. I had a really good time. The movie definitely is a tearjerker when it comes to certain scenes, but you will have an amazingly good time watching this movie. Best 2 hours I've sat in a chair to watch a movie for this year. Being a major Sonic fan and all, there is a lot of really good fan service when it comes to certain things about the movie. It is just all in all a really good movie. Sorry, I had to cut that part out. I was about to sneeze. But yeah, it is a really good movie. And just the character, obviously the character designs are done really well. I think obviously everyone knows Eggman's the movie. I think he was done very well. I think Sonic's still being Sonic is done really well. Knuckles is done really well. Tails is done really well. Everything in this movie is done really, really well. And happy to say that the whole human stuff. So the first movie, obviously you had a lot more humans rather than and Sonic was the only one. And then the second movie kind of amped up the Sonic world a bit more. I will say this movie does amp up that Sonic world a bit more too as well, and definitely gives the human characters a backseat. The human characters are still enjoyable. I still like them. I still think if you're gonna have human characters in a movie that's mainly centered around these other fantastical type of characters, that they should at least be good human characters. And thankfully the Sonic franchise has been very consistent. The human characters are super great, very great actors, and very entertaining. But as far as the non-spoiler section goes, it was a really great movie. I recommend you guys go and watch it. It is just it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Now for the spoiler section, since it's gonna be a lot easier to talk to, and of course my Xbox wants to do that. But now for the spoiler section. So again, spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled about the movie, click off right now. Go watch the movie, then come back to this video if you want to see it, because I also am gonna talk about some conspiracies, or not really conspiracies, but some hypothetical situations because of how the movie is. So on to the spoilers. So of course the movie starts with Shadow in his pod and everything. He gets out and beats a couple gun soldiers and whatnot. And then what he does after that is obviously he's escaped and everything. And then we pick up with Sonic and friends and everything. And in the beginning here, that's when they they're kind of messing around, having a little race and whatnot. And then obviously Gun comes in with the helicopter and picks them up, Team Sonic up. Then Team Sonic goes all the way to Japan to basically fight with Shadow, because Shadow is there. He broke out of prison because Prison Island is located in Japan, so breaks out of there and he's causing havoc in Tokyo. So Sonic comes in. Of course, Sonic and Shadow are fighting each other, and they're getting beat up basically by Shadow, because Shadow is just way too overpowered. So then that basically all happens and everything, and then things go on, and so then Team Sonic regroups up at the Chow cafe and whatnot, and then Robotnik drones come by, and then of course you have a motorcyclist, a guy on a motorcycle, come in, basically get rid of the drones, but he has his helmet on the whole time, and then so Team Sonic follows him, goes to find him, and basically they stop and then take his helmet off, and it's Agent Stone. So then you have Agent Stone there. Then that's where you get the scene with Robotnik inside the crab and everything, being all fat and slapping his belly and whatnot. Come to find out that they think there's an imposter who's impersonating Robotnik and whatnot, when in reality it's Robotnik's grandfather. So they track that down all the way to this abandoned gun facility, and of course Shadows is there reminiscing about Maria and this and that. And then of course Gerald Robotnik reveals himself and everything, and then so that's where you get the part of the actual movie where Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik basically team up now. Shocker. So then they team up. Obviously, Robotnik was always gonna betray Sonic. He's not gonna play nice with Sonic for too long. So then you have them teaming up and everything. And then so Team Sonic needs to find a way to stop their plan, which their plan is to basically wipe out all of humanity, but Ivo Robotnik, the Jim Carrey Robotnik that we know, not Gerald, but Robotnik doesn't know about, his grandfather's plan to wipe out all humanity, because Robotnik just wants to, or Eggman just wants to basically rule the world instead of, kill it. So then you have them basically want to, Shadow and Gerald basically want to destroy humanity, but they do this thing in the movie where Gerald basically lies to Shadow in a way, because Shadow asks him while they're this is while they're on the Eclipse Cannon and everything, which is basically the Death Egg in a way, the space colony arc. But you have Gerald who basically kind of lies to Shadow, because Shadow asks, "Is this what Maria would really want?" And then Gerald was like, "Is what Maria deserves, this and that." So kind of like manipulating Shadow into this whole plan and everything. So then you have all of that basically happen. Then Eggman doesn't like that idea, of course. You have a little fight between Sonic and Knuckles, because Sonic wants to use the Master Emerald. Not really much like a fight, more of like they're about to fight, but then they don't. And then instead Knuckles just warns Sonic and all that. So then you have Sonic who wants to have the use the Master Emerald to basically get rid of the situation, solve the situation the easy way, which to be honest it really is the easy way. But so then Sonic gets the Master Emerald and all that, and then turns Super Sonic, of course. Knuckles says the Master Emerald is being guarded by a strong warrior. It's Wade Whipple, the other police guy in Green Hills. So then you have Sonic, who gets that, basically goes supersonic, goes into into space, to the space colony Ark, and then basically tries to stop, the plans of, both Eggman and Gerald Robotnik and Shadow. And so basically from there, Sonic and Shadow fight each other and whatnot. So then they fight on I'll say I forgot where they fight on. I'm not sure if they fight on. It's like some like volcanic area or something. But then they fight each other. Shadow like punches Sonic while he's supersonic, like literally punches the emeralds out of him. It's kind of crazy. And then they both go after the emeralds at once, and they both turn super. It was just really cool to see that. And so they're both fighting as like supers. It honestly kind of reminded me of like a Dragon Ball fight. It was super sick to see and just super cool. It literally was like a Dragon Ball fight. It was super sick. Instead of like fighting like different parts of the world and this and that. I did also forget to mention the motorcycle fight is super cool. Like in the beginning of the movie, that motorcycle fight was just super sick. But I'm probably leaving some parts like a little bit out there because I don't want to make like too long of a movie review. I mean, this is my first ever movie review that I've ever done. So I'm trying my best. But so then they're fighting both in their super forms. It's like a Dragon Ball like fight. It's pretty cool. Then there's this moment where basically Shadow gets basically hit pretty bad, and then basically goes unsuper. And then while Sonic's still super, and then Sonic's like about to like punch or like do like the final shot on Shadow, and Shadow was like, "Come on, hit me." And then all of a sudden, Sonic's like remembering what Tom told him, which is, obviously, know that who you are, like, in your heart and this and that. Realizing that Sonic is turning into Shadow emotionally, and he doesn't want to do that. So then he has a change of heart, and then so Sonic and Shadow have this like kind of like heart-to-heart moment where they, talk about like their past, this and that, and the people they've become. Sorry, I feel like I might be getting sick or something. I don't know what's going on, but so both Sonic and Shadow have that like heart-to-heart moment, and Shadow has a change of heart and everything, which was pretty cool to see. So it was kind of similar to Sonic and Knuckles in Sonic 2, but a little bit different, and I'll explain that. So then both of them, make up and everything, and then while that's happening, Eggman learns of, Gerald's plan and everything, and, Eggman's not really about it, this and that. There's some funny stuff between, Eggman and Gerald and, Agent Stone. Agent Stone wants to be, Eggman's friend, but he isn't really seen as a friend and everything, which is, pretty funny, but then towards the end that gets resolved. But, so yeah, then Eggman and Gerald fight each other, which is pretty cool because obviously, Eggman gets the new suit, which is a lot more accurate to the games. So he has a more game accurate look to him, which is just really, really, really sick. And their gloves have this like power that like can make them like make things, which is pretty crazy. So they're like fighting. Gerald Robotnik gets like these like claws and then like a scorpion tail, so he's like a scorpion person. And then Eggman is like a praying mantis person. It's like pretty crazy. It's some pretty cool stuff. And yeah, so then they're fighting on these, the space colony Ark. I feel like I'm leaving out like a lot of stuff from the movie, but I'm just trying to talk about like a decent amount of the spoilers, but not too much, just some of the main stuff. But then while that's happening, then both Sonic and Shadow go super again, but then the song "Live and Learn" plays, and it is so perfect. It's right on cue. It's absolutely just amazing to to hear that song. And it was like a kind of like a different version of it, but it was just so good. It was so good the way they did it. And so then you have both Sonic and Shadow like going up to Space Colony Arc, and then what happens is Gerald like releases like these gun bots, which basically these gun bots are they're almost like the ones from Sonic Adventure 2, which is really cool. Not the small ones, but like the ones like the robotic ones with like arms and legs. Those things look really, really cool. And then so like this like cool scene where Super Sonic and Super Shadow are just basically blasting through these bots and everything. It's so nice. The fights with like how Shadow fights is just so sick. But then of course Gerald Robotnik is defeated and everything. In a pretty funny way. I won't spoil how that is because I don't want to ruin the comedy for you guys, but it's a pretty funny way. So they also do the thing where Super Sonic and Super Shadow are trying to like hold like the laser from basically shooting at Earth and everything, and they move Eggman like moves the laser and then accidentally does the whole like I'm pissing on the moon kind of like funny little Easter egg. So he does that, and then what happens is basically so Sonic loses like his like energy, so he turns unsuper, starts almost crashing on the Earth, and Tails and Knuckles try to help Shadow out and this and that, help Sonic out and everything with one of the rings as they're like crashing down, and they end up landing on Earth, of course. And then what happens is Eggman's still in there, but then Eggman like broadcasts this like message and stuff like that, basically, because Eggman's about to die. The place is in a self-destruct mode. Eggman's about to die, and so then he has this like final message, which was kind of a tearjerker and everything. It was pretty nice. So it was Eggman basically dying and whatnot. So then what happens is Shadow's still there. He's like still trying to push the arc out of the way and everything, because it's about to self-destruct and basically explode. Then this is the part when Shadow basically takes off his inhibitor rings and then like goes full force to push the Space Colony Arc out of the way, or if you want to call it the Eclipse Canyon, but we all know it's the Space Colony Arc. Basically goes full force to push it out of the way and everything, and then what happens is it explodes, and obviously the whole Shadow being dead thing and whatnot, and then everyone goes back to their lives and whatnot and everything. There is like, before all this, there is like a whole like spy thing where they're trying to like get into this place to get this like key card thing that's supposed to like stop the Space Colony Arc, the Eclipse Cannon. So there's like a whole like little thing there. Everything just really done like super well in this movie. The interactions, the different like things they're doing, and obviously Keanu Reeves as Shadow, amazing. That was my fan cast for Shadow, if there were going to be a voice actor for him, and he did a perfect job, absolutely perfect, 100% job. They treated Shadow as a character very just perfectly, absolutely perfectly. The way they do the Shadow story is a little bit different from Adventure 2. Maria doesn't get shot. She was about to, but then didn't. The way it happens is, and all of this doesn't happen on Space Colony Arc. It happens like on this gun like facility on Earth, which is pretty interesting. So they do that. They see Maria's about to get shot, and then the soldier basically shoots at this container containing Shadow's like energy and stuff like that, and it blows up, and the explosion kills Maria. So they don't shoot Maria, the explosion kills her, but it's a part of me wanted them to do the whole shooting thing, just to, stick close to source material, but they did things differently, a lot differently, with this movie, with certain parts of the story, to the point where like it kept elements of the story, the original lore and everything, did it a little bit differently, but it didn't like mess with anything. It didn't it didn't f up anything. It completely stayed pretty much to the original of how it's supposed to be. And I enjoy that. I'm actually glad that they, that they changed stuff and then nothing got like messed up or anything. They did a really good job with all of that. And then on top of that, of course, Gerald Robotnik being alive is completely new and everything and all that. Yeah, because originally he's supposed to be dead. But I think the differences that they did with this is perfect. I wouldn't change a single thing. I think they did it really well to to fit with obviously you can't have a girl get shot in a kid's movie, this and that. So I think they did it perfectly. They also changed a couple other things. There's no such thing as a biolizard. Biolizard does not exist. Shadow was not created in the lab, but he came down from a meteor. So a meteor was containing Shadow. Now that has me thinking maybe Shadow could have still been created. Because hear me out. And this is where my whole conspiracy thing is gonna, unfold. I think what they want to do with Shadow is maybe introduce Black Doom. Because originally with the Shadow the Hedgehog game, they explained that, like Shadow has like origins to like Black Doom and everything. But I think they did it this way because if he comes down from the meteor, then if they eventually want to do the whole Black Doom thing in one of these movies and everything, they have a way to explain it now. Because before then, they couldn't really explain it. It was a little bit unexplainable. Because I think the way they did it before was like Black Doom influenced Gerald to make Shadow or this, that, or it was a little bit convoluted. But I think by doing this, makes it a little bit more easier for them to do that. So I think that's what they might end up doing. It's possible. I think it might be that, but that's just my theory. But yeah, Shadow's not created by Gerald Robotnik. He comes down from a meteor. So he is a full-on alien that had come down from space and everything. Through a meteor. Hair just fell down in front of me. That was wild. But feels like my throat's getting like sore. I might be getting sick, which sucks. But so then there's that, and then of course you have the ending where Shadow obviously sacrifices himself along with Eggman, explodes and everything. Then Sonic's down, is back home. Everything's all good, and then basically the movie ends. Everybody did a really good job with the characters that they were given. Everything was absolutely perfect and stunning. I absolutely love this movie. Now let's talk about the post-credit scenes. Now, if you don't care about the spoilers for the movie, but you don't want to be spoiled by the post-credit scenes, then click off now. Obviously, watch the movie. But the post-credit scenes, there are 2 post-credit scenes, and they're both pretty crazy. So you have one post-credit scene where Sonic's basically running around, and he's basically in the woods. Then ends up in New York, because he ran so much. He ends up in New York, in the forest, and it's like nighttime. Then all of a sudden, and I kid you not, Metal Sonic appears behind Sonic, about to shoot him with a wrist, a arm gun kind of thing. So he's about to shoot Sonic. Then obviously Sonic speeds around, and then Metal Sonic misses, and then basically both Sonic and Metal Sonic basically fight each other real quick, and then a bunch of other Metal Sonics show up, and then they're about to dogpile Sonic. Then out of nowhere, a big hammer comes around and swings all of them, and then pretty sure we all know who this is. an undisclosed character comes in, takes out all the Metal Sonics, basically, and then lifts the hood. It's Amy. Yes, Amy is actually in the post-credit scenes. It's pretty crazy. And it's just so cool. So you have Amy in that post-credit scene and Metal Sonic. I don't know why the Metal Sonics are there. Maybe that's hinting towards, what's gonna be for, Sonic Movie 4. So Metal Sonic might be the villain of Sonic Movie 4. And then we'll have that story, and then maybe that might tie into, maybe like a Sonic 06 story or something. Which is what I'm thinking, because, obviously, because who else would be next? I don't know anybody else who would be next. Yeah, so then you have that post-credit scene. And then there's the last post-credit scene, which is, the camera slowly pans on this field, and there's like a ditch. It's like as if something fell from the sky, and it slowly pans over. Excuse me. It's Shadow's inhibitor ring. And then you get like the Sonic 3 like trailer music, and then you see Shadow's like shoes like come up, and then I'll see Shadow pick up the inhibitor ring, signifying that yes, he's alive and he is back. I lost my shit. Like, between those two post-credit scenes, I absolutely lost it. But, all in all, that is pretty much the movie. Of course, you got your basic, like, Sonic-isms and stuff like that, just like the other movies. As far as, like, rating it and stuff like that, the action, perfect. Drama, perfect. Story, perfect. Comedy, it's a little bit hit or miss. Depends, on, what it is. Some of them hit, some of them didn't. But it's an entertaining movie. Again, obviously, entertaining movie. Great designs, great set pieces, great score. Human characters are really great too. And yeah, it's just a perfect movie. I can't really think of anything negative about it. But if I did have to give some sort of negatives, I would have liked a different bike for Shadow. I know it's a little bit nitpicking, but I would have maybe rather have it be like a Harley Davidson rather than a sport bike. But that's just nitpicking. It's really nothing too crazy. I do wish. A part of me does kind of wish maybe they just took the Sonic Adventure 2 story and just made it to a movie, but then again, I've already seen the Sonic Adventure 2 story before, and this was just something new, fresh, and they did a lot of things different that I did like. So as far as like negatives, I can't really think of any. Because a lot of it would just be like, rather wishes rather than actually negative. I do kind of wish, though, that they played I Am All of Me, the Shadow the Hedgehog game, like, song, while he was on the bike. I feel like that would have been so sick, even though they didn't, but that's fine. I feel like maybe they could have introduced another character, maybe like Rouge, or maybe also it did have Amy in here, or something like that. I feel like they could have, but to be honest, the story as it is, it's so good that I feel like even also adding things to it would probably just enhance it more. But all around, it still is like its own perfect, like, just absolutely just entertaining movie. And it's so rare nowadays to have a good entertaining movie, and I'm so glad that this movie was so good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what I can't really think of anything negative about it. Maybe the pacing was a little bit fast at times, but, it's a Sonic movie, so I would expect it to be fast, But I think it was good. I absolutely loved it. This movie has a lot of things perfect with it. The marketing has been perfect. The merchandise is absolutely, like, just perfect. I mean, if some of you guys have probably seen my videos on those figures, those things are beautiful, and I have them all on display up in the back. But yeah, it was a perfect movie. I absolutely loved it. I give it an infinity out of 10, but that's just me. But for just a regular score, 10 out of 10. Perfect movie. All the things I listed off on my fingers, absolutely perfect. Well done. Very emotional movie too. It's a very good movie. It's gonna be good for Sonic fans, good for non-Sonic fans, people just want an entertaining movie. It's all around perfect. But that's pretty much it for this movie review. Hope you guys do enjoy. It's the first time doing a movie review, so might be a little bit choppy, but I loved it, and I think you guys will love it too. It's definitely worth the money. I gotta figure out some sort of like critic score, like scorecard for myself or something. Yeah, this is definitely a movie that you don't want to just wait for. Definitely pay the money, go see it. It's absolutely perfect. But that is pretty much it. So make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of first movie review. Make sure to follow my Insta, my TikTok. I post a lot of stuff on there, like my action figure pictures. I do take commissions for custom action figures too as well. And possibly canvas drawings too. I do canvas painting a little bit here and there. So make sure to like, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, follow TikTok, Insta, and I will see you guys in the next one, which will be my Sonic and Shadow action figure collection to commemorate the movie coming out. And of course, I was, did my hair as Shadow too and everything. Mostly wore the shirt and all that. But anyway, that's it, guys. If the movie review. Hope you guys do enjoy the movie. Again, make sure to like, subscribe, follow Insta, TikTok, yada yada. You guys already know. But I will see you guys later.